Hi guys, it's Megan here. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and if you're returning, welcome back. Today we're going to do part 3 of the Reformer Sculpt Series. So if you're following along, part 1 was upper body, part 2 was lower body, and today is part 3, and we're going to focus on core, which is the whole core, so even obliques. So I'm going to try to do this without any props. I just want the reformer. So let's get started. I'm on one red spring only. So one heavy spring. You can keep your foot bar up, or if you want to set it in position for the day, just bring it down to the first level. So that's it. So we're going to start by facing the back of our reformer, and you're going to put your feet up on your headrest, okay? So really kind of scoot your body closer towards your shoulder block so you have carriage to roll down here. And then we're going to grab our straps, but we're going to choke up on the rope. So really choke up on the rope, higher than the D-ring. And we're going to use our straps as to kind of help us warm up and do some roll down. So choking up, sitting nice and tall. Remember, pull in, engage that core, reach the crown of that head long, push your feet into that headrest. And when you're ready, we're just going to hold onto the straps, find our C curve, and pull all the way down slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Push your feet into the headrest, chin drops, and then we're going to go into a nice little back extension. Tuck the chin and come on up, slowly rolling on up. So that's why I said bring yourself as closest to the headrest, shoulder blocks as possible, just how you saw why my head got really close to the springs. So position yourself where you can get into that back extension, but if you can't, you just can't do it, no worries. You're just really focusing on trying to find that C curve here. So let's do it again. Stay nice and tall. Find that C curve, rolling down nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time. Hollowing out that stomach. Back meets the carriage, and then pulling back. And then chin comes up first, and then rolling up. Allow your straps to help you, but really find that core engagement to roll you up. Don't let the straps do all the work. Let your core find it. Let's do it one more time. So sitting up nice and tall, tuck the chin, and let's roll down one vertebrae at a time. So remember, the head will be the last thing to drop down, just like the tree, and the first thing to pick up, and then rolling on up. Good, so now that you got that, we're going to add on to it. So if that's good for you, continue with those. If you want that challenge, we're going to add into single leg. So sitting up nice and tall, let's bring our right leg to tabletop. And we're just going to bring all the way down, same thing, C curve, keeping that right leg at tabletop, come into that back extension, tuck that chin, and rolling on up, and bringing that right leg to extension, sitting up nice and tall. So tabletop as we roll on down, find that back extension, tuck that chin, roll on up, and see if you can extend that leg sitting up nice and tall. Good, let's switch legs. So same thing, left leg to tabletop. Let's roll on down to our back extension. Pick the head up, rolling on up, using that core, and find that left leg extension. So let's try that again, rolling on down. And as we roll on up, using that core to nice left leg extension. Good, so adding on even more. So let's try double leg now. So when you're ready, let's bring both legs to tabletop, sitting up nice and tall. Use your straps here. Allow them to hold you up. So really use them to help you. From here, let's roll on down. Find that back extension. Really take this as a nice stretch. Tuck the chin. Come on up, using that core into tabletop. So we'll add on to this into a nice leg extension, teaser prep. Using that, let's roll on down, take your time. Come on up. And now let's see if we can extend both legs. Whew. Let's try that again. Let's roll on down. Tuck the chin. Come on up and see if you can extend. These are not easy. And both legs down. Whew. Good job, guys. So now hopefully you're warm. We warmed up in a nice C curve. We added some leg extension into a nice little teaser prep. So let's keep going. So since we're back here, I'm still in that red spring. Let's go ahead and add. Let's do our legs in straps. So we're gonna bring the long straps, we're gonna bring right over our knees. And from here, now we're gonna do the opposite. You wanna try to scoot away from your shoulder blocks because you want to get more range of motion with this movement because we're not gonna use the long blocks for this. You wanna be closer to your springs. So most of your back, more than half your back will probably be off the carriage here, okay? So scoot on back, make sure these are right over your knees, and then let's go ahead, scoot on back, and pull your knees in towards your chest. So as you can see, my shoulders are completely off that carriage. So I'm gonna place my hands behind my head, and I'm really gonna push my hands into my head to support my head, neck, and shoulders. Legs to tabletop. We're gonna go into a nice reverse crunch, so legs to chest. So my upper body isn't moving. I'm just pulling my knees in towards my chest, engaging that core. So find that nice imprint. Let your core be the mover here as we move our legs in and out. Try not to collapse the collarbones. Keep them nice and broad. You got this, guys. Stay strong. Just pulling in and out. We're gonna add on in 3, 2, and 1. Let's do single legs. So I'm just gonna pull my left leg and opposite elbow. So getting those obliques for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a quick little breather. Just gonna scoot down just a tad. Whew, these are not easy. So take a quick little breather. Also because you're really supporting your head, neck, and shoulder off of that carriage. So a lot is happening here. Good, we're gonna go back into that. So let's bring our hands back behind our head, extend our legs, and now let's just pull one leg in. So single leg. Same thing, try not to arch that belly, really draw it in toward your spine. Great. Let's do double, so left, left, right, right. We're almost there. Stay strong. I'm right there with you guys. Let's go for 3, 2, and last one here. Grab your knees and roll into a nice little ball. Whew. When you're ready, slowly come on up and out of that. So, good job. I definitely felt those. My abs are on fire, but we are not done because this is the third part of our series and we're just focusing on core. So we're definitely going to burn our core out. And so let's keep going. We're gonna stay on that red spring, and now we're gonna turn around and be kneeling facing the back of our reformer. So this time you're gonna put your knees up against your shoulder blocks, and let's just take a quick little breather here. So reach your hands out onto your carriage on, and then just sit back towards your heels, reaching your arms in front of you into a nice little child's pose. Really take this as a nice stretch, a little recovery, because we are about to do more abs. And let's come on up. Good, so hopefully you took that as a nice little recovery. If you need to pause me and take a little more of a break, go ahead, or if you need water. So from here, right now, just again, starting position, make sure your knees are right under your hips and your hands are on your carriage, on your reformer, so onto the metal part of it or whatever, if it's wood. And then now you're going to see how my hips shift over my knees. So I'm not stacked. I'm going to shift my weight over and I'm going to reach my arms in front of me. But watch your thumbs here because our carriage is going to move. I'm just going to move my towel really quick. So our carriage is going to move, and now we're going to go into a reverse thigh stretch. So from here, see how my weight is shifted? Tuck that tailbone, don't arch that butt out. Nice flat back, and now we're going to bring our knees in towards our chest, rounding that spine, but really bringing that spine, our stomach towards our spine, and slowly bring that carriage home. So you're pulling with your knees, but you're lifting up on that core. And then you're allowing your core to move you back home. Don't let your springs just bring you back really fast. Let your core do that work. So it really is a nice little ab crunch. Good. Inhale. And exhale as you bring it in. And then inhale as you slowly bring it on home. Try to keep a slight bend in that elbow. Both elbows, sorry. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, bring it home and go ahead and just sit back onto your heels. Whew, good, so we're definitely burning out our abs, so hopefully you were able to find that nice core engagement, really lifting up onto that core there. So, good guys, so we'll give our rectus abdominis a little bit of a break, which is our six pack, and let's get into some oblique work, okay? So, I'm just gonna lay my towel down. I'm definitely heating up here, starting to sweat, so hopefully you guys are too. And now we're gonna go ahead and just lay onto our sides. So I'm gonna lay on my left side, and I'm gonna work into my right oblique. So, laying down, and I'm still on that heavy spring, okay? I always work at more of an advanced level. These are welcome, every level is welcome to take my classes. I always work at an advanced level, which meaning my springs are different for someone that is at beginner, intermediate. So for this exercise, I'm on one heavy spring. You can try. If it's too heavy, you're not getting full range of motion, which I'll show you, go down in a spring, okay? So that being said, let's go ahead and lay onto our side. So I'm on my left side. Make sure our hips are stacked. Don't worry about the foot bar being slightly up. We're actually going to use that to make sure that our legs stay nice and lifted. So let's go ahead and grab our long strap in hand, and you can use your resting hand as like a nice little pillow here, whatever works for you, okay? So reaching those legs nice and strong, make sure your hips are stacked, pull the shoulders back, and from here using that long strap. So we're gonna work into the obliques. We're gonna probably get a nice little shoulder workout here too, so little benefit here. So when you're ready, push and squeeze your heels and your thighs together, okay? So you're really squeezing your legs together here, and you're gonna lift on up. So you can see that my legs are lifting off that carriage. And I'm gonna keep them lifted as I bring my arm down towards my waist and up. And keep that strap slightly in front of you. You don't want it directly above you because it will hit you in the face. If you keep it slightly in front of you, you'll avoid that. So you really want to really push, squeeze those legs together and lift them. Keep them lifted over that foot bar. As you lower and lift that arm, you'll feel that right oblique fire up. It's a nice slow and controlled movement here. Lifting up and down. So hello obliques. So I definitely found that sweet spot. And see if you can lift those legs up even higher. For 3, 2, try to keep your hips stacked. 1, and now we're just going to swing that arm in front of us and pull back. Same thing with the legs. So squeezing my legs together and lifting. Good. Let's go for 3, 2, and 1. Last one. Bring your arm right in front of you. Keep those legs lifted. You're just going to bend the legs in and out. Keep tension in that strap for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both legs down and come on up. Whew. I definitely felt that. So hopefully you guys really found that oblique engagement there by really squeezing our legs together and lifting them and keeping them lifted over that foot bar. We found that nice tension on that oblique, and then using our arm to lower and lift was definitely keeping that tension on the oblique and just really working that side of the body. So good. So we're going to go around the world. So go ahead and put your strap down. And now we're going to sit. Let's add one more spring onto our carriage. It's just to stabilize the carriage. The carriage isn't going to move, so you can add as many as you like. So make it a little heavy so our carriage doesn't move. So we're going to sit on the end of our carriage widthwise, and make sure you're at the end because we're going to use the width of our carriage to lay our back down. So sitting up nice and tall, grab the back of your knees, and then let's just slowly roll on down onto our carriage. So I'm going to have to scoot up a little bit further. So find where you're comfortable. In this part, you want your shoulders, your shoulder blades on the carriage, just the top of your shoulders can be off. So really use that carriage to support your back. And then bring our legs to tabletop, and we're going to bring our hands right behind our head. Push your hands into your head to stabilize and support your head, neck, and shoulders. Find that nice imprinted spine, controlled in the core. And from here, we're just going to do toe taps. We're just going to tap one toe at a time. So strong core here. Remember, never arch your lower back. Never arch your tummy. Draw it in towards your spine. And slow and steady. Nothing too fast. We're going to add on to these. And now let's do both toes. So down and up. So both legs come down and tap and up. So controlling it in the core, don't arch that lower back. Push your hands into your head to support for 3, 2, and 1. Good. From here, now we're going to do single leg, but we're going to add a nice little back extension. So, as we would start with our left leg. So as I extend my left leg, I'm going to arch my back and my head off that carriage, but I'm going to look over my right shoulder. So opposite leg, and you're looking over opposite arm. And you're going to come on in and bring that leg in towards your armpit. Try not to collapse in that chest. So extend out, and nice back extension looking back towards that right arm, and come on in. And your other leg is just staying at tabletop. So take your time. Feel that oblique. Let's go for 3, 2, and last one. Come on in and just hold that side, your arm up towards that knee, and you're just gonna bring that knee in and out. For 5, slow and steady. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on down. Good. So we're going to do the same thing, other leg. So let's bring both legs to tabletop, and now we're going to extend our right leg as we extend our head back and look back towards that left arm. And come on in. Good. Same thing. Really try not to arch that lower back. Feel this in the core. Feel those obliques. Take that extension back. It's a nice little back extension looking over the left elbow. And in. Really coming on and closing that gap between the hip bone and your smallest rib. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold your body up, and now you're just going to bring that leg in and that full extension and bring it in towards your armpit. We're not collapsing in the collarbones. Stay strong. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on down. Take a nice little breather. Grab your legs, and then let's slowly roll on up. Good job, guys. So we're gonna hit the other side of the obliques, but let's just go into a nice little plank series before that. So this is a time to grab a towel if you have knee issues or if kneeling on your knee bothers you. So grabbing a towel or a very small pillow would work right now. So we're gonna come on and we're gonna face the front of our reformer now, okay? And that's why I said we keep our foot bar at the first level here. And then I'm gonna switch my spring. So I'm taking my red off and I'm just gonna work with a blue spring. So one light spring, if you're comfortable with it. If you're not really good with planks and you're still learning Pilates or you're at a beginner, somewhat intermediate, I would keep a heavy spring on for this series. But if you want that advance and that challenge, go down and put one light spring on. Good. From here, so let's walk our knees all the way towards the front of our reformer. You want them all the way at the edge. Hands onto your bar. Make sure your knees are about hip distance apart here, and keep your toes flat. We're not going to tuck them yet, so keep them nice and flat. And from here, we're just going to do kind of like an ab roller. So grab onto that bar, and you're going to push out and pull your hips, push your hips back and in. So we're keeping our body weight over our hands, so our shoulders are not doing anything. We're just pushing out with the knees and in. Really using that core as you push out. Pull that core in towards your spine, and as you pull in, really draw it up. So these are really slow and controlled moves, just like pretty much everything else in Pilates. Really find that core engagement. Drop it out. Feel that core and come in. Hold that stomach in up towards your spine, especially as you bring those knees back in. Let's go for 3. Keep a slight bend in your elbows too. 2, try not to hyperextend. And 1, good. From here, now we're going to move from our shoulders. Our knees are going to stay put. So it's going to be 2-part. We're going to push out with our legs first. Actually we're going to push out with our legs first, dropping the hips. Now our knees and our lower body's not gonna move. We're gonna move from the shoulders, so a nice little saw. So push out with the shoulders, go as far back as you can stabilize, and in. So really take your time here and only push out where you are comfortable with, and stop when your shoulders are right over your hands. You don't want to come all the way forward. You want to stay stacked, and that's the starting position and our ending position. And you're going to push back with your arms, control in the core, go back as far as you're comfortable with, and then pull on in. Good. Let's go out for 3 more. Use your breath and exhale as you come on in. We got 2 more. Try to keep a nice line from head to tail. Good, and the last one here. Push back and come on in. Good, almost done here. So now we're going to add on. So if that was enough for you, keep your knees down onto that carriage. Because now we're going to go into a planking position onto our toes. So it's going to be a lot more challenging. So if planking's still something that you're kind of not too comfortable with, a lot of core strength here, stay on your knees. And let's come back to starting position. Now, you're going to tuck your toes under. See how my toes were flat? I'm tucking them under. And I'm going to push up, push my hands into that bar, and I'm going to push that carriage out. So I'm going to walk my feet just kind of towards the middle of that carriage. So now I'm in a high plank from head to toe. I'm going to bend the knees in and out. In and out. So try to keep that nice flat back. Nothing's moving. My arms are staying over, my shoulders are staying over my wrists, and I'm just moving from the feet, pushing my knees in, bringing them right under my chest and out. For 3, 2, and 1. We're going to add on. Now let's lift our right leg. So it's going to get more challenging. Right leg in. So I'm just going to keep my right leg lifted as I bring my left knee in and out. And now we can add like a little bicycle. Go for 3, 2. Last one. Keep that leg extended. Both legs out. I'm just going to tap that right leg down and up. 5, 4, 3, 2, not done. 1, lift that right leg up, and now you're gonna bring it knee into chest and rotate up the hip and just extend that leg underneath. Bring it back in and out. Let's do that 3 more times. In towards the chest, pivot on that left foot and extend it out. Hello, obliques. 2 more times, guys. Into the chest, pivot, extend it out. 1 more time, out, back into your knee, your chest, pivot, extend out, and in. Come on down and shake. Good, let's come on up, and now we're gonna do the same thing on the other leg. So now we're gonna work through that right leg with that single leg, okay? So when you're ready, let's go ahead and put our hands back onto the foot bar. Remember, our knees start at the end of our carriage, towards the edge. We're going to tuck our toes out, tuck our toes under, Push through your hands, lift up through the shoulders, and just walk your feet out towards the middle of that foot bar, the carriage. Lift up onto your core, and now let's lift our left leg up. And now we're just going to bring our right knee in and out. Point your toes, try to keep it up at hip level, and just pulling in and out. Good. And now we can go into a nice little bicycle, so bring it in, or jackrabbit out, in and out. Try to keep your back as flat as possible. Push through those hands, slight bend in your elbow for 3, 2, 1. Stay out there, both legs extended, left leg is still lifted, and you're just gonna tap your toe down and up. For 3, 2, and 1. Now keep it lifted, bend your knee into chest, pivot on that right side, shoulders stay square to the floor as you extend that left leg out, back in, and out. So let's do that 4 more times. Take your time, high obliques, feel those obliques working hard, in, pivot, extend. Let's do it 2 more times. Last time here, guys, make it good. Bring it into your chest, really lifting up on that core, pivot on that right foot, and extend your leg out, back in, and come on down and shake it off. Whew. Great job. So now let's go ahead and hit our left oblique, and then we'll end with that nice little ab series onto the width of our carriage. So, excuse me. Let's go ahead and do our spring change. We're gonna go back to 1 heavy spring only. So take your light spring off if you were doing that whole plank series with the lighter spring. So you want 1 heavy spring for this one. And this is when we're gonna lay down onto our carriage. So this side, my back will be towards you guys. So I'm gonna come down onto my right side now. And I'm gonna work into my left oblique. So I'm on my right side, and I'm using my right arm as a pillow, and I'm gonna grab my long strap here. I'm gonna reach both legs out nice and long. I'm stacked on my right hip, and my hips are stacked. So make sure your hips are stacked and you're on your right side. When you're ready, squeeze your legs together. Sorry, I just have an itch on my nose. Squeeze your legs together and lift. Keep them lifted as you squeeze. And now let's just lower and lift through that left arm. Remember, try to keep that arm slightly lifted, slightly in front of you, just so your strap doesn't rub your face. And keep those legs lifted, squeezing them together. Feel that left oblique. Whew. Good. Let's go for 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to do our arm sweep. So arm right in front of you and pull back. Our legs are still being squeezed together and lifting up through that left side. Keep them lifted off of that foot bar. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring your arms straight in front of you, and now you're just going to bend your knees in and out. A little harder on this side. For 3, 2, and 1. Come on down. Whew. And slowly come on up, and let's put that strap back. Good. So that was the same thing that we did on our left side, working our right oblique. Excuse me. So hopefully, same thing, you're able to find your oblique engagement there. Using my left arm with that strap definitely made it more challenging because I am right-handed, so don't worry if you felt like that side was a little bit heavier if you're right-handed like me, using your left arm to pull in and out. So it's still really good to use the same weight on each side, so each arm or whatever we're working is getting the same amount of weight and exercise, even on our weaker side with our stronger side. So good job. With that being said, let's go ahead and finish this out with the nice little core circuit that we did laying on our reformer. So my back will be towards you guys again, and we're just going to do that same thing. So let's sit at the end of our reformer. Just gonna lay my towel out because I'm getting sticky. Oh yeah, before we get started, add a spring or two, just so our carriage doesn't move. It's just to stabilize the carriage. And then we're gonna sit at the end of our reformer towards the very edge widthwise. Grab the back of your knee, sit up nice and tall. Take a deep inhale here. And exhale as you round that spine into a nice C curve, rolling back onto our reformer. And you have to scoot back where most of your back, as you can see, you can probably see better now. You'll see that most of my back is on the carriage. It's just the top of my shoulders that are off. So that's why I put my hands behind my head, and that's what's gonna really support my head, neck, and shoulders. So I'm really pushing my hands into my head. When you're here, find that nice imprinted spine, engage that core, and let's just do those toe taps, single leg. So we're just gonna tap right, back to tabletop, tap left to tabletop. So we're keeping our head lifted, nice flexion, nice imprinted spine, and we're letting our core lower and lift our legs. Slow and steady, nothing too fast. Good. We're gonna add on to this in 3, 2, and 1. Now let's do both legs. So both toes tap and then back to tabletop. So same thing, just both legs. And remember, don't arch that low back, especially when your toes come down towards that floor. Really control it in your core, so keep that nice imprinted spine. Feel those low abs working hard, especially with the double leg. You're gonna feel it a lot more. So I am 2. Let's go for 3. Push your hands into your head. Keep your head over your shoulders. 2. And last one, bring it in. So let's go into that nice little leg extension with that back extension. So you'll probably see it a lot better on this side. I'm gonna start with my left leg extended, and I'm gonna bring my back. See how I'm extending it over the carriage, but I'm gonna look towards my right side. So opposite leg, opposite arm. So I'm looking towards that right side as I extend my leg out and then back extend over the carriage, and then I'm gonna come on in and bring it in, closing that gap between the hip bone and smallest rib. And my right leg, it's just at tabletop the entire time. It's not doing much. It's just staying up there at nice 90-degree angle. Try not to drop it though, nice energy in it. But you're moving through that left leg and really getting that back extension. So really take this as a nice stretch, but still working into that core, getting those obliques in 4, 3, 2, last one. Keep your upper body lifted, and now you're just gonna extend that left knee in and out. Left leg, and you're still closing that gap between your hip bone and smallest rib. Feel those obliques working hard. Getting ourselves a nice little waistline for 3, 2, and 1. Come on down. Whew. Just take a quick little breather here. And we are almost done, guys. Let's just do that other side. So both legs at tabletop. Now I'm going to extend my right leg out, and I'm going to extend my back over the carriage, and I'm going to look towards my left armpit, and then bring it in. So my left leg isn't doing anything, it's just staying at tabletop, and I'm moving through my right leg, pointing my toes, and then back extension over my carriage, looking back towards this left armpit, and then bringing it in, closing the gap between my smallest rib bone and my hip bone. Good. You got it. Stay strong. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Keep your upper body lifted, and now just move through that right leg. Point and bend. Lift the head for 5, 4, take a nice little stretch here. Bring your knees to chest and allow your head to fall back over that reformer, so this should feel really nice. And then tuck your chin and slowly roll on up. Don't fall off your reformer like I did on the other side. All right, guys. Let's see. So that was about a 40-minute core burnout. So that was part 3 of my Reformer Sculpt Series that I've been working on. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're following along. If you liked it, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I think I really want to add a part 4 to this, working on the whole, the back of our body. So our whole posterior chain. So that'd be really nice to get the back, everything. So I will definitely work on that. Don't forget to check out this part 1 of the series and part 2, upper and lower body. I hope you're following along. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Bye.